Hey guys, TommyBryson here. Welcome back to the channel, and I hope everything is good and you're also having a great day. Now overall, this video right here is all about saving money by being frugal, living frugally to save for the things you actually want to save for. Meaning, hey, I'm gonna stop spending money on this in order to save money for what I really want to do, which is actually the important stuff. Whether it's, for example, saving money to move from your parents' house, for your emergency fund, to buy a new car, for going on vacation, whatever you actually want to do. Now, before I get started, guys, here, I do want to drop a gem that was dropped to me when I was basically around 19 years old. And by the way, a gem basically means, hey, here's little nuggets about information that can actually help you a lot, okay? That's what a gem stands for. But overall, the gem says this, okay? It was a quote by Warren Buffett that says, hey, do not save what is left after spending, but save first and then spend what's left, okay? And by the way, whenever I actually did this, and I made this, for example, like a routine in my life, okay? I always had money in my savings for the things I actually needed, because I always did one, save, and then second, spend what's left over. But most people, they spend first and then they're like, hey, I don't have anything left over, and then nothing ever gets done. And that's what you want to avoid in its totality. Now, for context here, 5 years later, I'm not 19 anymore. I'm actually 24 now. I've managed to save something like around almost $500,000 in cash, in investments, and also just business overall. Now, I don't say this to brag. Oh my gosh, I'm so cool. No, I don't say that at all. I say to tell you, hey, if a random guy from the Bronx grew up with a single mom, on top of that, wasn't a physician or a doctor or a scholar in school, anything crazy, then if I'm able to do it, then you can also do it. And in this video, it's very simple. I'm just gonna tell you 2 things to do to save the most money possible. 2 things, not 15 steps, not 20 steps, just 2 things you need to do in order to save the most money. Now, for some of you guys, it might be tens of thousands. For some of you guys, it might be, for example, a few $100 per month, and that might make you happy. Use these to the extreme you actually want to take it. Now, if you guys are new here, make sure to go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified. On top of that, also destroy the like button because it helps a lot with the algorithm, and I appreciate it a ton. And if you guys like these videos of me standing up with legs, then comment down below and I'll do more of those, and just basically like this video and I'll make more like these. Now, the very first thing, guys, is very simple, and it's all about being self-aware. And my definition is basically making the unknown known, okay? That's all it is, not more complicated than what it actually is, okay? Just making the unknown known. Now, for context, guys, you know, self-awareness is not as easy as you probably think it is, you know, because, for example, when I was 19 years old, again, I used to spend somewhere like around $1,000 a month on clothing and liabilities and basically trash overall. And I didn't notice it because I never spent all that money at once. It was like, hey, I'm gonna go to the mall today, grab all my money and spend it. No, it was like, hey, here's 100, here's 20, here's 50. At the end of the month, hey, I spent over $1,000, okay? And by the way, watch out for the sneaky subscriptions, okay? 20 bucks a month is $240 per month, okay? Per year. It all adds up. All those small things here and there, it all adds up. In reality, you might not even be aware of how much money you're actually spending and actually wasting. So, Tommy, what can I do in order to become self-aware? Well, the answer is, guys, grab a piece of paper, grab your phone, or grab, for example, a small journal. And what you want to do is to make the unknown known is you have to be self-aware of every time you're actually doing it. So, for example, whenever you're spending money, write it down. Whenever you want to spend money, write it down. How do you feel before you spend money? Like, why do you actually want to spend it? What were you thinking about? What were you doing? And whenever you're spending money, like when you're at school, when you're at college, when you're at work, when you're at the vending machine, when you're doing whatever it is, spending money overall, write down every time you actually do it. Now, what's going to happen is eventually you're going to become self-aware whenever you're going to spend money. It's not going to be automatic, because automatic behavior, we call it a habit. Now, why is this important and where did this come from? It's not my opinion. I want to make a fact-based video, scientific, okay? So what I know is this, okay? I read a book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, and he says, Tommy, a habit is a routine. So usually you have a trigger, you have a behavior, and then lastly, you have a reward. So you might not notice it, but whenever you're actually doing something over and over again, that's a routine that then develops, for example, into a habit. Like, hey, my stomach is rumbling, okay? That's my trigger to do what? To eat food. That's my behavior. And then lastly, my reward is I feel full and I actually have energy now, right? That's a routine, that's a habit, and you keep building that over and over again. So by you going ahead and writing things down all the time, that makes you self-conscious of what you're actually doing. And the only way, another question, well, Tommy, if I know I'm spending money over and over again and I want to change that, well, what can I do? Well, scientifically, the only way is that whenever you get the trigger, right, the cue, the craving, what you want to do is change the behavior. So instead of going ahead and spend the money, you do something else. So that's why it's so important. You know, money is cool, but it's usually a result of something else you're actually feeling. So you might spend the money because in reality, you're bored, or you are lonely, or you really do have a shopping problem. But the only way to figure it out is by writing down every time you spend money and becoming self-aware of it. Now, I strongly recommend, when I did this, I did it for a very long time, probably longer than you're supposed to, but I recommend everyone watching this video do this for at least 66 days. Tommy, I'm not a child. It's gonna become boring. I'm gonna get it, right? No. It's because it takes 66 days to basically rewire your brain's, what is it called? Neurological pathways, that's what it's called. Again, a fact-based video, scientific video, okay? So it's not me, my opinion, no. It's real stuff. So 66 days of writing down every time you spend money, you become self-aware of it. Eventually, you won't have to do it anymore because basically it'll become a part of your nature. Today, if I go to Walmart and spend money on something, I'm like, hey, do I really need this? Like, is this like a good buy or not a good buy? Whenever I spend money, I get that feeling saying like, hey, I gotta become self-aware of this, okay? What am I spending money on, okay? So by doing this, you become self-aware of the problem. And then and only then can you actually make a difference. So again, grab a phone, piece of paper, or a little notebook or whatever you actually have, and just write down every time you're about to spend money. And when you do spend money, write down what you spend money on and the amount. And look over your bank transactions, and write down all of them on your notes, okay? That way, you're self-aware of where your money is actually going. If you have no budget, it's like, hey, you don't know where the money's going. So that's not good. Now, number 2, guys, is, hey, a need versus a want. Now, how does this actually help you save money? Because it's called labeling, okay? And labeling is very important, because if you don't know if what you're buying is a need or a want, then you're just gonna think that basically everything that you buy is a need. You know, you ever heard people say like, hey, I need that t-shirt, I need those shoes. And by the way, I wish I could laugh, but I can't. Because for example, when I was 19 years old, I really thought I needed to buy 2 pairs of sneakers every single month and all those clothing, okay? I really thought it was a need. Now looking back, obviously, like I'm like, nah, I was actually going crazy, not a good idea at all. It was actually a want and not a need. However, when you're in the sauce and you're doing everything, you don't know. So it's important you label everything. So when you write things down, so again, this goes together with one. So whenever you write down what you're buying, you put next to it need or want. And then you ask yourself, hey, why is it a need? Why is it a want? Do I need another purse? Another pair of shoes? You know, probably not. Now, for definition's sake, okay, in case you want to play yourself, okay, a need is something you need to live or survive. You don't need that purse, you don't need those shoes, and you don't need to go eating out all the time and go into Hawaii on vacation because you're stressed out, okay? That's not a need, that's a want. A want is the complete opposite. You don't need it to live or to survive either. However, am I saying never have fun? Never buy something you actually want. No, because in reality, if you're working and you're making your money, you deserve to at least, for example, enjoy a part of it on the wants. But it's important to know the difference. So that way you're consciously self-aware of what you're spending money on. Whenever I spend money on a splurge, like, hey, I want to eat at a taco place and spend $50, okay? I know I'm doing this, okay? But the difference is when you don't know, that is actually not the correct thing to do or the best thing to do. The point is, be responsible. Now, Tommy, what do you do here, okay? How do I make this happen? Well, here's my advice, guys, okay? When it comes to a need and need-based expenses, there are four main walls to a budget, for example. So if you want to build a budget, my budget is fairly simple. I'll break that down later. But overall, when you have a budget and your expenses, there are four main things you absolutely need to spend money on. Your real needs, okay? The real ones, not the fake ones, the real ones. And those ones are basically shelter. When shelter is like you're renting or you bought a house, a condo, whatever it is, that's where you stay, shelter. However, my rule is if you buy a home that's no more than a third of your monthly income on a 15-year mortgage. If you're renting a place, rent a place that's no more than a third of your income. So if I make $1,000 per month, I'm not gonna spend more than $300 on rent, okay? That's the idea. So automatically, if you're spending more than half your income, this is a way to save at least 20% of your money just like that today. How do you do it? You move, okay? Sorry, it's true. You move somewhere else because it's too expensive, honestly. Number two is you also have utilities. Now, utilities has 5 main utilities, and that's it. So you have electricity, gas, water, your phone bill, and lastly, also, what's the last one? Also, your internet bill. I always forget this one. I don't know why, but without internet, I can't even work. But yeah, that one is also very important. However, though, doesn't mean you need an iPhone 13. No. It does not mean that. Does it mean you need, for example, the 5G, 1 gigabyte internet at Verizon, whatever it is? No. The answer is, okay, you need to communicate, be intact, talk to people, have access. That's fine. So you buy yourself a little phone in cash. All my phones are always bought in cash. I don't finance them. I don't care about $30 per month. I don't care about that. And also, my internet bill is based on my needs, not based on the best, highest, fastest. I don't care. I care about what I need. So overall, that's the 5 for utilities. Again, water, gas, electricity, internet, and your phone bill. You don't need the latest iPhone or the fastest Wi-Fi in the world, okay? Don't do it. By the way, keynote here, I'm already 24, so in reality it was like 12 years ago, so I can't go to jail for it. But you know, when I was 12 years old, I had a device to steal my neighbor's Wi-Fi, and they didn't know, okay? But yeah, that's a story I can share now because you can't hold me accountable for it anymore. So there you go, I got away with it. But overall, guys, also as a bonus, don't ever forget that you also need, for example, health insurance and also life insurance. But that usually comes later on. If you have a job, most likely your job helps you. And also life insurance, more like you got it later on once you have like a family and something that you actually want to make sure they're secure and good in case anything happens to you. But guys, overall though, tell me, what am I supposed to do with this information, okay? I have, for example, self-awareness. I also have labeling, okay? What do I do with this? I write things down. I say need or want, but what do I actually do with this? Well, in reality, by doing this, you're gonna cut off all the things that you basically don't need. It's really that obvious. So the goal is you don't want your expenses to be more than 70%, usually. More than 70% of what you actually bring home. That's the idea. And then you have room for 30% to actually go towards what you actually want to save money for. Now, again, for some of you guys, it might be 90% or 80%. Just make sure it's no more than 90%. But my rule is 70%. But if you're just very high right now, then that's fine. But at least have 10% of your money to actually go ahead and save up for the really important things in life. You know, I don't like the, hey, I make $4,000 every single month, but Tommy, it's okay. I saved $20 last week. You know, that's just not fair. It's not really moving the needle whatsoever. So 10%, 20%, 30%, save at least that much, okay? That's gonna actually make a difference. Now, what do you use that money on? My advice is this, okay? This is what I do, my advice, and it could also help you. Overall, I have a budget. My budget has 6 different accounts, 6 envelopes. You have, for example, emergencies at the top. Emergencies at the top. You also have, for example, investments. You have debt. You have expenses, your fund account, and lastly, your charity account. That's 6 accounts. Now, overall, here's what you do. You save $500 to $1,000 in your emergency account in case anything happens. And then if you have debt, you focus all the extra money towards just paying off your debts using the avalanche method. Meaning, hey, you pay the debt with the highest APR first. The one with the highest interest rate, that's the one you pay. All the debt excluding your mortgage. So yes, you have to include student loan debt. You have to include personal loan debt, your credit card debt, all that stuff. And by the way, I paid off around $13,000 in debt. Okay, so it's fine. If I did it, you can also do it. It's going to take some time, but that's fine. Once you're done with the debt, you fully fund your emergency account with all the extra money you actually have now. So what does that mean? You basically save at least 3 to 6 months worth of your monthly expenses, which you should know because you wrote everything down. And then you basically put that in a separate account in case you lose your job or things don't go your way. That way you can live without a job for 3 to 6 months and you're fine. Then number 3 is you start investing money into your retirement, okay? Now 3.5 is, by the way, if you want to invest, I have videos on this. The link is down below, so description. Just look up TommyBryson, how to invest. You'll find those videos on me telling you exactly how I invest my money. But overall, 3.5, okay? It's the 3.5 step. What you do is you start saving up for a down payment on a home between 10 to 20%. The home you buy on a 15-year mortgage and no more than 33% of your monthly income. This way, you're limited to a smaller home and it also costs you a lot less and you can also pay it off a lot faster than the average person and basically erase the shelter costs, okay? It's gonna help you out a ton. Now, step 4 is once you just kept investing, you paid off a home in 8 to 10 years, right? Because you're paying off more towards it. Guess what? You have a bunch of money. You're able to just enjoy yourself a lot more. Now, on the way here, it's okay to spend 5% on having fun and know what you actually want to do. But again, just be responsible. And guys, that is my advice when it comes to frugal living. So in closing, thank you so much for watching this video. But I do have a warning. I appreciate all the ideas about, hey, being frugal, save on this, save on that. That's great stuff, okay? However, one thing I learned is from Ramit Senti, also a great gem, is, you can only cut so far until you see blood. Meaning you can cut a lot, cut out everything, cut out this, but just focus also on increasing your income and being responsible and having control. That's really what's important here. I don't want to hear stories about, Tommy, I save money by using the same mouthwash over and over again. I save money on my toilet paper I use, for example, napkins or newspapers. I've heard these stories. They're true, by the way. That's not what I want, okay? The whole point is enjoy life while you're actually doing it, but be responsible. I enjoy life. I go on dates. I buy fast food every now and then. But guess what? I'm also not going broke over it. I have all the important things like investing, managing my bills are all covered because, again, I'm self-aware and I also put a label on the needs and also the wants. And I choose what I want, okay? That's the idea, guys, okay? I'll see you guys next time. As always, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified. If you want to watch more content like this, here is another video here. My face is over here. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my Instagram is right here, TommyBryson. If you want to call me also, I have a free call we're going to actually do, okay? So the link is down below. You can call me for free for 15 minutes between 12 p.m. Eastern to 2 p.m. Eastern. So link is down below. See you guys tomorrow. Long-term team for the win. Peace out. Love you guys.